In this opening lecture, I want to talk about what is Moho, or basically how to make cartoons, because that's really what Moho is a cartoon creation software tool. Now, this is recorded as of September of 2017, and some of the information may be dated the further we get into the future. Let's begin by looking at the company that distributes Moho. It's called Smith Micro, and this is its website. Now, if you just go to smithmicro.com, you'll end up seeing their high-level website where they talk about services and partners and stuff like that. You actually have to click on their products link, which takes you to /customer to get to the customer graphics section of the website. Once you get there, you're going to find that they have quite a line of graphics products. The other thing that you're likely to find is that their products are expensive. Remember, these are professional products. Now, they do have debut or entry-level products that are somewhat cheaper, but you're still probably going to get tempted into the pro products, which cost hundreds of dollars. So let's begin by looking at Clip Studio Paint, formerly known as Manga Studio. This is Smith Micro's illustration software, and it's really fantastic. Its greatest competitor is probably Photoshop or Illustrator. It's along the same lines. It's a vector editor that generates vector graphics, such as this, where I'm drawing using a 3D model to trace. The other product that's useful with Clip Studio Paint Pro is Motion Artist. Motion Artist allows you to put some motion to your cartoons if you're a cartoonist, such as in this demonstration, where you can see that there is an animation from cell to cell on the comic that I drew. This is done using Motion Artist. The next product to consider is Poser, which is a 3D animation product, where you get to spin your characters 360 degrees and see them from all sides, where you can generate graphics such as this that shows an airplane scene where passengers have a dispute. And finally, there's Moho, which, like the previous products, comes in a debut or entry-level product and a pro product, which allows you to do 2D animation, such as in this. Once again, the website is smithmicro.com/customer, and here we encounter our first bit project. What I want you to do is consider pausing the video at this point and going to Smith Micro to look at their products and make sure that you're watching the course and purchasing the right product for what you want to do. Next, I want to talk about why Moho 2D animation. For one thing, it's faster to produce and render than 3D. 3D takes a lot of machine resources, and it takes a lot of time to render things. It looks more cartoonish than the more realistic 3D animation. It's also simpler to work with, and you can use it to animate hand drawings by scanning them and then tracing them. First, I want to talk about the Moho Pro advantages over the debut version. It has a lot of additional features that you're going to want. Smart Bones, frame-by-frame animation, Bezier curves, motion blur, ... It just has a ton of additional features. If you fall in love with debut, you're going to want to have Pro. Next, I want to look at the price comparison. Moho Debut is fairly inexpensive at about $70, but hold on to your britches, because Moho Pro can cost upwards of $400. The rule here is buy Moho Pro only with a coupon, and another option is to buy Debut and upgrade. That's a little bit more expensive, but I bet you're going to get tempted into Pro eventually, because Moho is one cool product. Now, as of September 17th, the previous version of Moho was called Anime Studio 11, and that's where we get the formerly known as. It's currently called Moho 12, and these two versions are not exactly identical. Moho 12 has several significant additions above the predecessor release. There are also alternatives to Moho, including for illustration, Clip Studio Paint by Smith Micro, and Photoshop. Both of them allow you to create sophisticated illustrations and save them as SVG files for importation into Moho. And for animation, I've heard great things about Harmony by Toon Boom, but this is even more expensive. This is the top-of-the-line professional 2D animation tool. Now I want to talk about two types of graphics. What you're normally used to in doing JPEGs or PNGs and so on are called raster graphics. These are extremely large graphics because there's a value to describe the color and the brightness of every point in the image. What Moho works with is vector graphics, which is just points, shape formulas, and fills. Very small, very simple to render, and very simple to animate. Vector graphics provides a standard SVG or standard vector graphics open file format, which allows you to share your vector graphics between programs. It creates smaller file sizes because you're storing much less information. You're not storing every point in the image. You also get faster graphics because software can process the formulas and points defined in an SVG graphic much faster than the raster graphic bit values. Remember, it's just points, shape formulas, and fills. Though I use Windows, Moho supports both Windows and the Mac OS. And one last thing, a standard Windows installer is provided, which makes installation a breeze. Now, this is what I recommend. If you want to draw, check out Clip Studio Paint instead of Moho. If you want to draw comics, also check out Motion Artist. I think it's a neat addition to Clip Studio Paint. If you want to do 3D animation, you have to try out Poser. That's the way to go. Very similar to Blender, the open source product, if you're familiar with that. And if you want to do 2D animation, I think Moho is the answer. So here we've encountered our second little bit project. I want you to go off now and decide what you're going to pick up as far as a software product. One of the options you have is to do a free trial for 30 days. You might want to just pick up Debut and later upgrade to Moho Pro if you're not sure about what you want to do. Now, up next comes the animation workflow, in which we're going to talk about all the phases and tools that go into creating a 2D animation. I'll see you there.